Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be learning how to make this adorable little mini chick. This is a 20-minute no-sew pattern and is the next pattern in my mini series that I'm coming out with. I think they're super adorable, and let's get right into the materials that you're going to need to make this project. So the first thing you're going to need is some white yarn. This is Mainstays yarn from Walmart. Next, you're going to need some red. This is Premier Just Chenille in the color Crimson. But any red that works with the same thickness is going to work just fine for you. Next, you're going to need an orange or a yellow. This is Juicy Couture in the color Mustard. I think it's so perfect for all duck feet. Then you're going to need an appropriate sized hook. I'm using a 5mm hook, but you use whatever you need to match your yarn. You're going to need some 12mm safety eyes. And lastly, you're going to need just the tiniest little bit of stuffing. A little more than this, but you get the gist. And yeah, that's it. Let's get right into the video. So the actual base pattern of this chicken is the exact same pattern as my mallard duck, except you don't have to do any color changes and it's all done in the white color, except for the bobble stitches are done in your yellow to make the little feet. So I'm just going to insert the pattern, take a screenshot, write this pattern down, and come back to the crown. Come back to make the crown with me after you make the body. Alright, popping back in, I just finished row number 5 and we're going to add our eyes. So we just go on the opposite side of the stitch marker and we're making sure to add our eyes 2 visible stitches apart. So here's one. There's 1 stitch, there's 2 stitch, that means this over here is the 3rd stitch. And there we go. We got our eyes in. Before we add our backings in, we're going to add our beak. So take your yellow yarn and your hook, stick it right up. Grab, grab, and pull through. That did not work. Try again. Pull through, go to the other side. You don't want to pull it too tight or it's gonna do that. But that's okay. We're gonna adjust at the end, so just tie it together. Tie your strings together loosely now. Okay. Now we're gonna put the backings into our eyes. And we're gonna keep going with the pattern. I'll see you back for the bobble stitches in the legs. Alright, I'm actually going to pop back in to show you guys how to do the wings, just in case any of you are confused. So this is what our guy's looking like so far. Now we're going to do the increase rounds and the wings. So, this depends on where you put your eyes. If you had put your eyes in a different location than mine, you might have to adjust where you end up placing your wings by a couple stitches. But it should still lay out the same. So the first thing you're going to do is do an increase. You're going to do actually 3 increases here. I see that I'm going to need 3 increases. Okay, now that we've done our 3 increases, 1, 2, 3, we are now going to do our wing stitch, which is going to be a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. Now you're going to do a half double crochet into the first chain, so not this, this. You're going to go in, you're going to pull up, and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Perfect. Now you're going to go back into that original stitch and you're going to do another single crochet. And that's how you do your little wing. Now you're going to do an increase in between where the beak is, right? It should line right where the beak is. You should do it an increase. Next, you're going to do your other side wing. You're going to start with 1 single crochet. Then you're going to chain 2 and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a half double crochet into the second chain and pull through all 3 loops. Lastly, you're going to single crochet into that same stitch. Then you're going to finish off. You should have 1 more increase. Here is our wings. Looking cute. Now you're going to keep going until you get to the bobble stitches and I'll meet you back. Alright, so now that we have done the wings and our single crochet row, we are going to go ahead and start working on the bobble stitches. So we are just going to single crochet until we get just right next to the wing. I'll show you. So just gonna single crochet all the way till we align ourselves with our wings. So we want to go ahead and place the bobble stitch right in this next stitch. So that's right in the wing. This is how you're going to do that. You're going to grab your yellow yarn. You're just going to loop it over your crochet hook. Okay. Next, you're going to go into the stitch and you're going to pull up a loop. And you're going to go through both loops on your hook, but not the white. Yarn over, pull up, pull through only the first 2. And again, one more time. And one more. Perfect. Now that you have done that 4 times, you're going to grab your white and you're going to go through all the loops on your hook. Perfect. Now you're just going to single crochet the next 2 stitches, I think, for me. I could do 3, but I think I'm just going to do, no, I'm going to do 3. And now we're going to do the same bobble stitch with the yellow. So, same method, yarning over, going into the stitch. Perfect. Taking your white and pulling through all of them. And just single crocheting the remaining 2 stitches. Perfect. So what we have, so he's looking cute. Next, you can decrease everything and fasten him off. So I finished my little chick and he's looking pretty cute. Look at him. Now we are going to do the last part, the little crown with red. And I recommend you get a smaller crochet hook to make your life easier. Here I'm just using a 3.25 just to help me get into these stitches. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn our guy around. get your red ready. And you're going to just slip your hook into the second row that we did. This was the first row with the magic ring or the chain 2 method that you did, and this is the second row, and we're just going to plug that in. We're going to try and keep it aligned with the beak. This whole, all the stitches, we're going to want to keep it aligned with the beak to make sure it's centered. Stick our hook right through. Next we're going to grab our red yarn and we're just going to pull it through. So hold steady and pull it through. Perfect. Now I'm just going to chain 1 just to secure it in place. Ooh. Okay. Next we're going to just go straight to the beak. Now we are literally inside our chain 2 method. We're going to pick up and we are just going to do a single crochet. Okay. Into the next, continuing to keep it aligned with the beak, or as aligned as possible. Again, just a single crochet. One more time, keep it aligned with the beak, and a single crochet. You should end up on the second row from your magic ring or chain 2 method. This is what it looks like so far. And you had 3 single crochets and 1 chain. Now you're going to go ahead and chain 2. 1, 2, and turn. Now we're going to work into that same stitch we were just in. We're going to work a double crochet. So first 2, last 2. Okay? We're going to do the same thing into the next 2 stitches. And the last double crochet. Now, for this last stitch, I just like to do a chain 1 and slip stitch into the chain. We're just slip stitching right into the chain. Now, we're going to cut off. Perfect. And we're going to pull through. And we're going to tighten both ends. It's at this point I like to tie these 2 ends together just to make them more secure. So I'm just going to tie them together. My camera is slowly falling. I'm not sure why. Alas. We'll work with what we have. So we're just tying these 2 together. I do a double knot just because I like to be extra secure. Now I'm just going to grab a needle and push the yarn tails inside the project. Okay. Now we are just going to shape. There we go. Look how cute. And now you're done. You can add a keychain onto the little crown. Do whatever you want to do with this guy because you're done. Please consider liking and subscribing if you like this content. I will be releasing another mini every week on Friday. Or another video. It might not always be a tutorial, but I plan on releasing one video every week starting now. I'm going to try and keep this schedule, and it's going to release every single Friday. So keep an eye out if you're interested. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.